Alright, thank you very much for subscribing to our webinar. To start off first, I want to introduce to you Grace Park Media. It's another branch of the Alpha Production. Okay, and to our listeners in our podcast, the E.R.O.S Story. What's up, everyone? Okay, for today's webinar, I want to introduce to you guys Grace Park Media's Instagram playbook. By the way, for those people who don't know me, my name is E.R.O.S I am a clinical audiologist in Singapore, and to impart to you my story, 10 years ago I fly here in Singapore to work as a clinician, and then eventually because of the need to know the market, I shifted from being a clinician to a salesperson. Now I'm trying to embark in another journey, which is marketing. So why marketing? The reason of which is recently during the COVID season, I embarked myself to entrepreneurship and found out that marketing is part of that particular subject. Okay, so after that I entered another course which is more on the basics of Instagram marketing or Instagram strategy. So for my influences, I have a lot. Okay, first of all is Casey Neistat's "Do What You Can't." Okay, so basically a story wherein he showed there things that is some sort of like a rebel that do basically what you want, do your passion. Okay, be motivated in doing your passion. Next would be Gary Vaynerchuk, of course. For Gary Vaynerchuk, he is role model and also an influence to the youth that being in social media can be a form of profession. Okay, that you could monetize from it, that you could actually make it as your career. Next would be, of course, Nas Daily from Facebook, because somehow Nas have shown how to use social media and consistently post valuable lessons there. Okay, for the new generation of digital marketing, I think I'm not sure if you know her. Of course, Dorothy Lang. Dorothy Lang, encountered her not personally but online via this learning course app, and eventually I tried her method and somehow use it on my own or develop it on my own. Okay, so in regards with books, I have two recommended books for this webinar. First one will be The Confession of the Advertising Man by David Ogilvy. Okay, David Ogilvy is the father of modern advertising. And second would be Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. Okay, Donald Miller basically set the foundation on how to post effectively in all those social media platform. Okay, so why do I create this webinar or this podcast? The reason of which is what I noticed is, or actually this is premature, as you could see, or for those who subscribe in this lesson, it's delayed. Okay, the reason of which is I find that there is an urgency to do this because first of all, everyone is leveraging in social media. Okay, and why you leverage in social media, but you're doing it wrongly, because social media doesn't work that way. It has a KPI that you need to follow, which we would tackle in this video or in this webinar. Okay, or actually this is not a webinar, it's a pre-recorded video, because also there's also some stuff going on technically while doing this. Okay, so this universal template is what we call, or I formulated to a more bite-sized method, which is what we call E.R.O.S formula. Okay, E stands for endeavor, R stands for reciprocate, O for opinion, and S for scale. Okay, so before we begin, I just want to help you out in a simple question that would eventually you would use to motivate you to post every day. What is it? Why social media? Okay, you need to find out your whys so that you could actually have a clear picture of what you will do in Instagram or any social media, and to have a purpose, clarity, and also have more vigor in doing your posting. Now, if you are having hard time doing it, there is a simple formula or simple checklist that you need to answer. First is, what do you do? How do you do it? And why do you do it? Once you find that out, then it's easier for you to create more in the social media space. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. I'm gonna introduce to you the E.R.O.S formula. Okay, we start first with letter E, endeavor. So basically, endeavor is your passion, okay, your why. Okay, so for endeavor, you could actually use, or whenever you use, it's in a form of to educate, to entertain, or to engage with your customer. Okay, each time you engage with your customer, you always should put value in it. Okay, and the intention would be also to has a potential to network with your clients, and also has a potential to sell. Now, for Instagram, engagement is one of its KPIs, or your key performance index. Okay, so to make it more valuable, okay, whenever you send direct message to your customer, whenever you engage in a dialogue, make sure that you do these three things. First, you use text. Second, you use video. Lastly is you use voice. Amongst the three, voice has the highest KPI because it cannot be mimicked by robots or bots. Okay, and of course you need to engage in a discussion in comments. Okay, so that's letter E in our E.R.O.S formula. Next would be R, stands for reciprocate. So for reciprocate, or for reciprocate, basically what do you need to do is you need to give value first before you could actually get value. It's like a simple law of karma, or law of cause and effect. Okay, wherein you need to give value first before you get value. Next would be, whenever you post, you make it relatable to your followers. Okay, that's the most important one. Relatability. Okay, relatability is equivalent to likability. Okay, whenever you engage a very relatable content, it creates traction, or it creates a feeling that there is some sort of like emotional connection to your page. So how to make a relatable post is, of course, by the use of storytelling. Storytelling is quite easy. Okay, you need to give, or you need to follow the AIDA principle, okay, wherein you need to grab their attention, okay, create an interest, create a desire, and ask them to give action, okay. So for relatability, when you do that one also, it creates it add on to, though not necessarily KPI, but it allows people to share your post, okay, because nowadays for Instagram, like has no bearing. It's now engagement and shares, okay. So that's for letter R. Next would be opinion. There is a saying by Dirty Harry, wherein opinion are like assholes, everyone has one, okay. So by creating opinion, it will make your page authentic as possible. It's some sort of like, it will make you unique. It will make supporters of your page be more engaged in your post because of your opinion, because opinion matters. Here are some of those people that you could actually follow who engage in more, or who shows their opinions. Let's say, for example, dude with a sign. By using a cardboard and his opinion, he managed to gather about 7.4 million followers by doing so, okay. Another campaign is Free the Nipo campaign, or it's a page wherein it's from, I'm not sure if it's from Jessica Walsh or from Dot Lung or Dorothy Lung, wherein during the olden times, Instagram tried to whenever there is like Nipo post, they try to blur it out. But the thing is, showing the Nipo in this campaign is basically just to show feminism, okay. So on their side, they gather a lot of supporters and manage to get this page verified because of their opinion, okay. Now, the last part of our E.R.O.S formula is letter S, which is scale. So to scale, you need the community as a part of your your community engagement, okay. So because nowadays in social media, content is not the king, but community is, okay. So in our next webinar, we'll show you also how to manage communities, because this is now the essentials to create a more viable environment in your social media space, okay. So how to scale or to make big in Instagram? Of course, you need to join engagement groups, okay. Engagement groups, you could find it in LinkedIn, in Facebook, in messengers, okay. Those engagement groups would eventually help you to engage in your post, like your post, so that you go against, or your group against, the Instagram or social media algorithm. Whenever you post, this is the main problem, whenever you post, only 5% of your friends would be able to see your post. Now, if there is engagement, there is something going on in your page, it will index the algorithm to show your post more, and eventually, because of your engaging or relatable post or storytelling, then you could actually gather more likes and more followers by doing so, okay. And of course, another strategy that you could use is the use of hashtags like likes for likes or share for share, wherein when you put this tag, is it's some sort of like an automatic response to other users, wherein when you like their page, they're gonna like yours as well. And also if you share share their page, they will also share your page. Okay, now the other things that you could use is, of course, to use call of action. Okay, call of action is whenever you create a story and showed value, it is important on the latter stage that you need to ask them to like, subscribe, or do something about how they feel in your post. Okay, so that's call for action. Okay, so other things that you could use to make your, or to scale, is you need to really focus down on your niche. Okay, so by focusing down on your niche, okay, people would actually look for you rather than look for them. Okay, and the thing about scaling, always remember also that if you follow everyone by liking everyone, you're following no one. Your page will become more vague. Okay, if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one as well. Okay, so as much as possible, focus more on your endeavor, your passion, your niche, so that you could actually reach. All right, so sorry for the interruption, we need to change. Okay, so last part of our scaling is, of course, please don't use bots, because what I found out is when you use bots, it will eventually, if Instagram would manage to get your attention, or not get your attention, if they found out that they're using bots, they're just gonna shut down your page or your account. So please don't do that one. Now I'm just gonna show you how some tips also in doing the E.R.O.S in action. Of course, first of all, you need to plan. Okay, plan by using a calendar. So by doing planning, in some other people, they plan to use it, they use the calendar to also make it as part of their portfolio. Let's say, for example, if you're a freelancer, wherein you want to show to your client how you do your weekly or daily regimen, you could actually use a calendar wherein you could actually put there your picture, your copy or your post, your written text, your hashtags, your links to whoever you want to tag in your post, and put it in one Excel sheet or calendar. Then that's how you plan using your Instagram post. Now for Instagram, there's also a lot of things that could actually help you highlight or advertise your product or your services via the grid, story, highlights, IGTV, and IG live. And of course, to use it also for your benefit is the insights. Okay, so for some pointers in your profile, of course, to have a proper description that when people see your profile, first of all, you need to have a color theme. Okay, so as you can see in Grace Park Media, we're using yellow and black because I just want to be recognized as University of Santo Tomas Tigers. Go Tigers! Woohoo! Go Ste! Next would be, of course, in your description, it should answer what, who, and why, so that when people see within 3 seconds, they know that this profile is a digital company, it's from the Philippines, and what's its purpose. Okay, so that's for your profile. Now for your highlights, you could also arrange your highlights in such a way that it's like a catalog for your followers or viewer, wherein you could actually put there or can answer the words like what this is for, who is their target, how do you target is the result, and also some bits and information about the handler or who's the author of the account, basically. Now for the grid is, of course, it's always in a square space. Ideally square is better than the rectangular ones, because somehow whenever you're maximizing the space in your Instagram and also in your Facebook post. Okay, of course, another thing is IGTV, wherein you could actually post 1-minute video to 10 minutes video. IGTV is ideal for those who have time to create short clips or movies. Then of course story is a 15 seconds video, wherein you could actually give people or your followers some snippets of what do you do, how do you do it, and so on and so forth. Okay, of course we also have the Instagram Live. For some users, Instagram Live is more for events or what is currently going on. Okay, so in some people, they actually use this one as live in a live forum, wherein as the presenter, you could actually present to your followers what are the new innovation, what's going on in your company, and so on and so forth. Another pointers that you need to look into is, of course, the use of hashtags. Using hashtags is very important, because if you don't use your hashtags, your post won't be visible at all. Okay, there's no way that people would actually see your post, no way that people would engage with your post, or there is no way that you could actually manage to sell in the space if you don't have any particular post. Okay, so it's also ideal that you create your own hashtag, okay, for indexing. Okay, some people would actually call it like encyclopedias or buckets, wherein they actually put there, let's say for example, we categorize it as E.R.O.S Lomboy food, E.R.O.S Lomboy behind the scenes, and so on and so forth. So it will be up to you how will you index your hashtags, okay, for the benefit of your page. Lastly, of course, the use of insights. For the insights, there are ways that you could use it, but for me the most valuable here is, of course, reach and impression. Reach is a number of people saw your post. Impression is how many times those number of people see your post, or it's more of frequency. Let's say if you have 100 reach, then your impression is 200. It means that 100 have seen your post twice. Okay, so maybe one of our last pointers is always engage with your customer. If you have new followers, try to thank them, appreciate what they did, and of course always engage in your engagement groups. Okay, so engagement groups is really essential in beating the algorithm. So always have a more relatable, consistent post, because somehow without a consistent post, you won't even reach the top 9 of your hashtag, or in regards with your niche. Okay, so your engagement post, how solid they are, how supported they are, would really push up your presence in Instagram or in your social media space. So that's all for today's webinar. I hope you learned something new, and I hope I apologize again for the late post, because of course and it's also very detrimental for me, because usually I hit always my deadline, but since this is unplanned and we're also still working in the company, it also takes a lot of time and effort to create this and to somehow manage to do it through the use of not webinar but vlog. Sorry. So that's all for today's post. Thank you again for watching. See ya. Bye.